What's going on, everyone? Moe Harkless is still a free agent out there after being waived by the Houston Rockets. He was part of a trade to just clear some salary for multiple teams, and he was kind of the odd man out in Atlanta. So he ends up getting traded and then gets waived, and many people want to see him go to the Lakers. 29 years old, he's still very young, kind of fits what the Lakers are doing this season. He's got good height, good size, 6'7" to 6'9" with shoes on. So he's a guy that has length that could guard multiple positions and just a big body. The Lakers have looked fantastic defensively, and he's a guy that really would help in that department. And the Lakers have fresh murmurs as put. And here's what Mark Stein reported. So he said there were also some fresh rumbles this week that the Lakers have given some internal discussions to the merit of free agent swingman Moe Harkless, who is only a career 32% shooter from deep, but theoretically helps address the lack of reliable wings that is almost as glaring as the Lakers' shooting deficiencies. So by now, it's no surprise that the Lakers just aren't a very good three-point shooting team. They don't have like any snipers, any quality shooters, and the positive note is that they're really good defensively. And so do you kind of just lean full-fledged into that defense? And bringing in a guy like Moe Harkless, I think really does that, right? Like the Lakers are going to win games by just being fast, getting out in transition, playing solid defense, trying to keep the other team from putting up more points than you could score. Moe Harkless, 32% from three, is not going to help in the three-point shooting department, but he's a good, sizable, serviceable wing that can help. And if he can at least shoot, 32 to 33% for the Lakers, at least he's a guy that's, honest, where teams have to contest, teams have to get out to, and he's a solid all-around contributor. And I just think he could be our like Stanley Johnson of last year, right? A good size player that can guard multiple positions, that could really help with the Paul Georges, the Kawhi Leonards. Like we saw JTA and Russell Westbrook having to guard Kawhi and Paul George. And look, they both held their own. They both did an excellent job playing just good, solid defense on them. But it would be so much easier to have a guy like Moe Harkless that you can just throw on and is not going to get bullied like we saw Russ. Russ, as great as he was playing defensively against Kawhi Leonard was just kind of bumping him out of the way because he's just got so much size on him. He's not going to be able to do that to a guy like Moe Harkless. Moe Harkless has, built a career in this league defensively and just being that big serviceable wing that can really help teams in need like the Lakers. Lakers are a team that really need and could use a solid wing type player. And I really think that, Moe Harkless would be a solid fit. Now, this isn't a move that's going to just take us to the next level. Like, this isn't a contending move, but I do think it's a low-risk, high-reward type move, right? There's nothing really out there that's going to just change the Lakers overnight, right? Even the Buddy Hield and Miles Turner deal, which Miles Turner is hurt right now, so can't even do that deal if you wanted. But let's say he wasn't hurt and he was healthy. Like, even going and getting and doing that deal doesn't really solve all of the issues and holes, right? But if you start getting multiple guys that kind of do fill those holes, I think it could really help. Having a guy like Moe Harkless that could play the 4 if you need him to, play the 5, and, a small ball lineup if you really need to. Like, right, you're playing the Warriors and Draymond's playing the 5. Moe Harkless can guard Draymond, right? Even teams like, say, the Celtics. We saw the Celtics run like Blake Griffin at the 5 in spots, right? So he could guard a guy like Blake Griffin. You can do multiple lineups with him. He can play the 3, play the 4, certain spots. I mean, you don't want him playing the 5 a ton, but he's capable of that. He's got the length, he's got the size, he's got the good wingspan to stick up with guys at a 7-foot wingspan. So he's got the length that really helps. And that's what we need. We need to fully lean into just sizable wing type players, guys that have that can guard and switch and have switchability, right? You saw like with the Clippers last night, they just switch everything because they have so many wings, so many sizable guys that they can just, okay, let's just go small. Okay, here you go. We'll go over here. Okay, you switch here, and it just makes the defense so much easier where the Lakers, they really have to fight defensively, right? They really have to get at it defensively, which helps that we're young and we have young players to do that. And we have guys that can defend bigger, right? Like Patrick Beverley's good at defending bigger. You don't want him doing that regularly. Like, you don't want him having to, like, if we get into the playoffs and we end up playing the Clippers in the first round, you don't want him having to guard Paul George, heavy minutes in a 7-game series. You're probably getting eaten alive. Moe Harkless, you can. Moe Harkless, you could have him, especially with the Lakers very likely playing LeBron at the 4 a lot. Then now you have that sizable wing that you could plug in at the 3, right? And you can run him. You could even run Walker at the 2 and then Russ at the 1. And now you got a good size in your starting lineup. That's going to be a very good defensive starting lineup, right? Because all 5 of those guys, from what we've seen with Russ the last 2 games, all 5 of those guys are capable of playing defense, and all 5 of those guys are capable of switching. And so now you can kind of have that switchable defense rather than playing Patrick Beverley at the 2, Walker at the 3, where you're kind of small on the 3, you're kind of small at the 2. Well, now you got that. Now you got the size to switch and stuff. And if for whatever reason the Lakers do end up trading Russ at some point, then if it's for like a Miles Turner or something like that, well, you still have Harkless. You could still run Harkless at 3, maybe run LeBron at the point, and then have Walker. So now imagine if you did, for whatever reason, did a trade with the Pacers, right? You have LeBron at the 1, Walker at the 2, Harkless at the 3. Davis at the 4, Turner at the 5, you have a very good defense. Now you have perimeter defense and you have, front court defense. And your smallest guy on the court would be Walker, who he has a 7-foot wingspan and he's got good size for a shooting guard. So now you're just a very big, sizable team. I'm still not very big on the Pacers trade. I do want to make that clear. I don't think it solves everything we need, and I don't think it's worth giving up 2 first-round picks. But, if at any point the Pacers are willing to, drop their price and actually be reasonable, then maybe it's something at least to look at. But even if you don't do that trade, like I said, having Russ, Walker, Harkless, LeBron, and Davis, you still got a sizable starting 5. Because, again, Walker is pretty big and long for a 2. Russ is pretty big and long for a point guard, and then you have Harkless, LeBron, and Davis. That's really good. You're going to be good defensively. Shooting is still going to be a problem, but shooting is going to be a problem regardless. Even if we did get a Buddy Hield, right? One shooter is not going to solve all of the Lakers shooting woes, right? Instead of us being 20% from 3, now we're 25% from 3. I think the Lakers average out. I don't think the Lakers are going to be 20% the entire season. I do think that they'll be somewhere in the probably 33 to 34 range. Hopefully they get around league average. I think LeBron, he's proven he's a good shooter, and I think he gets out of his slump. I think other guys Nunn, I think, is going to be able to step up. I think Patrick Beverley will step up and knock down some shots. I think a lot of guys will eventually start averaging out, and all the guys on the team are around 32 to 33% three-point shooters outside of LeBron, Kendrick Nunn. But you have guys like Walker who has shot 40% before. You have guys like Patrick Beverley who shot 38% before. So if they can even just get bigger, better than their average, then I think it'll average out 33, 34%. Get a guy like Moe Harkless, if he can be in the 32, 33%, then you're in your average amongst the team. And who knows, maybe he can even give you a better three-point shot because he's playing with guys like LeBron and Westbrook and Davis that can just kind of free him open and get him open looks. I think it could be a positive direction. Another big thing is that he has connections with Patrick Beverley, right? Him and Patrick Beverley were part of the Clippers and were a really great defensive front. So I think that you have that inherent oh, hey, come to the Lakers. I mean, Lakers are obviously a desirable destination. Moe Harkless is a free agent, so he just wants a job. Maybe you can get him on a non-guaranteed deal, kind of a prove-it deal. Big question is, who do you waive? Do you waive Matt Ryan? Do you waive, say, Wenyen Gabriel? I don't know. It's kind of tough. Who would you end up waiving? And so I pass the question on to you. Let me know your thoughts and opinions down in the comment section below. Who would you waive for Moe Harkless? You get rid of Matt Ryan? Are you keeping him because you're he's our best three-point shooter, so we need at least a guy that can knock it down? Are you waiving Wenyen Gabriel? Although he's a guy that can play the 5, he can play the 4, he's high energy, good size again. So do you get rid of a sizable wing when you're really short on those? Personally, I think Matt Ryan would have to be the odd man out. I think you'd have to get rid of Matt Ryan, bring in Moe Harkless. Yeah, you're losing the shooting, but you're going into defense. And look, Matt Ryan's not saving the day from shooting. He hasn't been lights out for the Lakers so far. And I just don't think you can give him heavy minutes. Where Moe Harkless, I think you'll get more overall production from Moe Harkless than a Matt Ryan. But those are my thoughts and opinions. And again, let me know yours, good, bad, ugly, somewhere in between. Let me know down in the comment section below.